I told you this was going to be a monthly thing. This is Projector in this no opening sequence. Okay, this week's episode is on Ebola, Hong Kong, ISIS, what's going on in Ukraine, and how they're all going to destroy Western civilization. Spoiler alert, they're not. Don't get me wrong. All these things are bad and must be worked to stopped or resolved anyways, but they're not going to destroy Western civilization. Change the history of their respective regions? Yes, most certainly. Change the entire course of history? No. Okay, let's get started with Ebola. Ebola is a very dangerous disease. If you actually show symptoms, there's about an 80% chance of you dying, something like that. I'm not really sure. Maybe there'll be a link in the video for a video in the description. But it doesn't spread that well if you have good hygienic, if you live in a good hygienic country like the United States or most of Europe or lots of other places. West and Central Africa, those don't tend to be very hygienic places, so Ebola spreads quickly. But unless you're rolling around in garbage or you decide to take a bath of toilet water, someone else's toilet water for that matter, you're not going to get Ebola in the Western countries. ISIS, they are very, very, very bad. They've been killing a lot of people in Iraq and Syria and starting to hit Turkey. They certainly have to be stopped, but they're not going to destroy Western civilization. They're not going to kill people that live in Western countries, most certainly, but actually bring the entire downfall of the country. I hear comments of people going, they're half expecting ISIS to come and conquer the entire country. It's not going to happen. Basically, they're stuck in Syria and Iraq because everyone else in the region has the military powerful enough to run over the country, their little Islamic state, and if they're actually stupid enough to go to war in these countries, they're just going to run them over if they decide to go full force. America hasn't decided to go full force because we don't want troops back in Iraq. We don't want our country doesn't want our military back in Iraq. For some reason, we still want to help them, but we don't want to put ground forces back in Iraq because you remember what happened 5 years ago and up to 10 years ago. Next, Ukraine. This is a really interesting situation. We really didn't have a chance to start a world war, but the two events that were most likely to start a world war, the Crimean crisis and the presidential election, those have passed. Now, of course, this crisis hasn't ended yet, so I can't really say if it won't start a world war. Plus, there's fighting in the eastern regions of Ukraine, and if for some reason either Putin or the new Ukrainian president, whose name I don't remember, thank you, Projector, if they're stupid enough to actually go to war, yeah, that's going to start a world war really, really quickly. Unless it's just going to end up like Georgia. I hope it doesn't end up like Georgia. And finally, China. Now we've probably all heard about the little Hong Kong uprising to instate democracy. Good. Good job, Hong Kong. I congratulate you. people are starting to think America is going to go to war with China to stop, to help the Hong Kong people. Hong Kong people? Hong Kongers. Thank you, projector. They're not. America is not stupid. Actually, that's debatable, but we're not that kind of stupid. We like money, and where does most of our profits and money come from? It comes from business in China. Which brings us to the way to actually destroy Western civilization. Let's say you're the president or whatever of China, the ruler of China. How do you want to destroy America? You quickly get other trade stuff with like Russia and India, which they're actually doing that with India, so maybe a little bit afraid America. They're doing that stuff. If they actually get open trade with that stuff, trade like they have with us, and then they suddenly decide to cut America off, that's going to destroy America. That's just going to absolutely destroy it. And then with the new trade with Russia and India, they have other people to send that stuff to. In fact, now they get to have more stuff. In America, it gets none of that. It's just going to be destroyed. It's going to be crushed. If China just decides to shut it off right now, well, America's just going to fall. China, they will see they'll have a massive hit. It's not going to fall, but it's going to fall behind. That's not good for China. It'll be good for India. It'll be good for Japan. It'll be good for both the Koreas, but because China hates both of them. Oh, that's it for today. I hope you like this episode. It's so much better than what I had 2 weeks ago. See you next month. Bye bye. Doodly 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 doo, doodly 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 doo.